Welcome everyone. In today's video, I just wanted to talk about the bean exploit, what it is, what happened, and how to protect yourself from stuff like this in the future, as well as just a risk framework for yourself in regards to whether or not you should actually farm, because there are going to be some situations where it's actually not going to be worth the risk of farming if yields are so low. So Bean is an algo stable on Ethereum. And much like many other algo stables on Ethereum, it has died. So basically what happened is that it got exploited on Easter. So that was on Sunday. As you can see here, it went from $1 all the way down to 12 cents. And it's currently sitting at around 14 cents. And remember, this is meant to be pegged to the value of $1. And so this is a failed algo stable, and a lot of people got affected by this. Now I wanted to use this as an example because a lot of people were talking about this as a farm that they were using. For example, Calculator Guy, he got hit really hard by this. So he says here he lost 25% of his net worth, which is just awful. I put out a tweet here, it does make me feel sick when I see these exploits, because you always think that, it happens to other people, but you never think it will happen to you. And, luckily I've been fortunate to not have been hit with one of these exploits. I mean, I've been rugged before, but, it's never been for a significant amount of my portfolio. And I posed the question here, is low double-digit yields, worth the risk of losing all your funds in an exploit? Probably not. But I'll talk more about, how to mitigate yourself from risks like that. But this is something that you definitely need to keep in mind, right? Is the yield worth it? And if the yield is quite high, where is this yield coming from? Are you just getting diluted? And these are questions that we need to ask ourselves when farming. I've very much changed my opinion on what to farm and how to farm. And, I might come out with a video in the future just detailing that. But just know that if you have lost money with this particular exploit, because I know a lot of people were talking about it, crypto is the land of opportunity, right? I saw one person here get 40% of their portfolio wiped, but if you've been around long enough, you know that there are 10x opportunities hiding everywhere. So, you'll be able to make your money back. Another person here lost 150k, and a ton of other people have lost money as well. But just keep your head up if you have lost any. And so basically, this is how the exploit went down. So the hacker used a flash loan to temporarily hold vast amounts of Bean. So they borrowed, I think, like $1 billion worth of stablecoins from Aave, and then they used that to buy Bean. And then with that Bean, they created a Bean improvement proposal. So they have like on-chain governance that you can do there. And if you hold like, a large amount of Bean, you can basically do what you want. And this is what the hacker did. And they pushed through a proposal that allowed them to mint unlimited number of beans. And then they drained all the funds from beanstalk farms. So if we just check here, this is how much was actually lost. It was $182 million, which makes it, I want to say, top 5 largest DeFi exploits ever. And the sad thing about this is that Beanstalk, they don't have VC backing. They're entirely, community bootstrapped. I think you might have seen, a bunch of Twitter threads on them just, promoting this. Like, everyone was a big fan. You could get high yields on Bean. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like anyone's going to get their money back, or the VCs. Well, there's no one to step up and, make you whole if you lost money here. And so, that's a shame. But transitioning on to the next part of the video, I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about how you can avoid, stuff like this. I mean, there is obvious stuff, of course, making sure that the protocol that you're deploying, that you're using, has an audit. The developers are doxed, they have VC backing, so on and so forth. But I want to cover something that's maybe non-obvious. It's going to reduce the yields that you actually get, but it will make sure that you are safe from the depegging of an algo stable like this. I mean, Bean is just one of many examples. Most algo stables from like the past 2 years have failed. Frax and UST are probably the only exceptions to that rule as of now. I think, there are a couple others as well, but those are your biggest exceptions. But basically, guys, if you remember Titan from Iron Finance, that was another algo stable that failed completely. But if you had followed these steps that I'm going to tell you now, you would have avoided all of that. So with this particular example, let's just imagine that you were bearish on UST. But let's just say you want to farm, the 20% APY on Anchor using UST. However, you don't want exposure to the UST stablecoin itself because you think, it's going to collapse. So what you can do is go to a money market like Aave, for example, or any other money market that has UST in it. And then you can deposit, a safer stablecoin there. Say like USDC or BUSD or USDT. So you can deposit that into Aave and then borrow UST against it. So in this case, say UST depegs or goes to zero, you're fine, you're completely fine, right? All you would need to do is return that UST to Aave. Aave doesn't care the value of UST, right? The value of the UST could go to $2 or it could go to nothing. All they want back is the exact number of UST that you borrowed. And so therefore you're actually covered if UST goes to zero. But there is one thing that you are going to have to consider with this is that say you're depositing USDC and then borrowing UST, you are going to have a variable borrow rate. So right now the UST borrow rate is at 10%. The yield that you're getting on Anchor is 20%. And so you have a 10% risk-free yield that you're getting there. I mean, risk-free in the sense that you're covered if Anchor protocol collapses. However, it's not risk-free in the sense that, Aave could still get exploited, Anchor could still get exploited. So it's still something that you would need to consider there. And is it worth actually doing all of these complex DeFi strategies if you're only getting 10% stablecoin yields? Because if you think about it, coins can regularly double, triple, even go 10x over this, very short space of time, right? That's something that you need to weigh up. I mean, for example, if you wanted to do the same thing on Solana, you could deposit USDC onto Solend and then borrow UST, borrow your UST and then deposit into Sol Luna and earn 25% APY. So you're getting roughly a 15% if you're doing it on Solana versus doing the same thing on Ethereum. So that's something that you need to consider as well. So yeah, that was just a quick video on the bean exploit and protecting yourselves from the collapse of AlgoStables in the future. I hope none of you guys were hurt too bad, and just remember that you will make all of your money back and more if you stay in the space long enough and you just keep your head up. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and make sure to subscribe for more videos like this one.